So, Go Fest. Few things to talk about. First off, my apology. I was hoping to do a full video, everything, but there were some ups and some downs, some pros and some cons to yesterday. I'll talk about the pros first and then talk about, there's only like really one con or two cons, but pros first. Overall, it was an amazing experience. I had a great time with everybody, the whole group. Made some really awesome memories, caught some really cool things. I'll show you what I caught. Definitely got over 50 kilometers for what I needed. I walked almost 30,000 steps yesterday approximately. Probably a little off on the calculation, but approximately that. And then I walked over 22 kilometers yesterday, so that's between 13 and 15 miles, I think, to be exact. So I'm having some fruit snacks too. Like I said, I can't really explain how great of a time it was. I wish I could have recorded. But like I said, the one con that I really wanted to say was like, it rained pretty much all day. The other con I was gonna say is that they canceled the fest for like almost 2 hours, I wanna say, something like that. I stood in line for like 40 minutes before I was even able to play to get my ticket to meet Mystic 7 and Trainer Tips. I only got one ticket because the Trainer Tips line filled up so quickly I didn't feel like standing back in line to get a ticket, because I really didn't know what the rough estimate, how much they had. Anyway, so I got a ticket to meet Mystic 7, didn't happen. So I went back at 1 like I was supposed to go meet them. But I stood in line, I want to say I got in line at like 12:45. So I was like 15 minutes early. So I was like at a decent spot in line. All of a sudden, like, we get the people kind of going like a loud little speaker thing, or like they're yelling, they're like, hey, they're running a couple minutes late. We're like, alright, cool, not a big deal. Like, it's only 11 o'clock. It's not a huge deal. The lines weren't completely compact. It wasn't completely stacked anyways. It was not a huge, Trainer Tips, he had a decent sized line going. My line had gotten bigger after I had gotten into it, but. So, all of a sudden, people are kind of like jumping out of line. People are kind of in a panic. And then all of a sudden, finally some representatives come walking around through the lines. We're like, hey, this fest might be canceled. Like, we might be shutting down early. And like, we all turn around like, wait, what? And they're like, yeah, this fest might be canceled for the rest of the day. And we're like, okay. And then some other people turn around and they're like, are you guys hearing this? Like, are we hearing this correctly? And they're like, yeah. And then some people start complaining and saying, well, where's $100 in Poke Coins? Where are we getting refunded? Like, are we gonna get anything out of this? And the reps are like the guards that were kind of, helping maintain and run the whole fest itself. We're like, we can't do anything for you, but we need you to leave. So some people are at this point are leaving. They're going to find shelter because they said apparently there was this big thunderstorm or lightning storm coming. I don't know. Some big storm was coming, or lightning had struck, so many miles away from us, so they had to shut things down. So nobody was leaving. So at this point, the game is still running. The spawns are coming up. People can still spin stops. All the fun stuff. Finally, somebody runs to one of the reps from Niantic and was like, hey, we gotta shut this down. Nobody's leaving. Nobody wants to leave. They don't care. They're gonna do whatever it takes to keep playing. Because we had a whole research quest, keep in mind, to do this. And we only had, depending on it, whether you started at 9 or whether you started at 11, we only had, whether you had, almost 10 hours to play or almost 8 hours to play or whatever it is. So people were still doing what they had to do. They were like, the rain, at this point, it was not raining. They were like, there's no rain. It's cloudy, it's muggy outside, but like the weather is playable, So people were standing around. Finally, they have the police officers rolling on bikes, and they're like, yo, get out of here. Like, go seek some shelter. We don't know what's gonna happen. We want this for your safety, which was completely understandable. I get that at that point. But it was like, this is a public area. You can't tell somebody to leave if they don't want to leave. But then, like I said, the cops came in and was like, y'all gotta get out of here. So it shut down. Everybody's getting super heated, super mad, frustrated. Like I said, everybody was angry. People were cursing and stuff like that. So finally, my group and I, we go out to eat and we hang around. Hour goes by, we haven't heard anything. Like, they had told us before, like, keep an eye on Twitter, keep an eye on the game for updates. Like, you'll hear something very soon. hour goes by, hour and a half goes by, we're still sitting, and I'm like, okay, so what's the plan if like things don't work back out? Like, if we get something out of this, what's the plan? They're like, well, depending on, we'll wait out here for a little while, and if it gets to the point where like we hear something, they just, give us something in addition for this, whether it's poker coins or whatever they do, or they maybe extend it, or maybe they do it a different day for us to extend it, like, we might have to go home. And now, like, at this point, we didn't know what was going on. Finally, at 3 o'clock, 30 minutes before they started it, so 3:30, all of us, or at 3 o'clock, they announced, okay, we're restarting back everything 3:30. Like, the city of Chicago is allowing us to allowing us to bring the event back on. So at this point, we're like rushing to eat because we had just gotten our food. So we're like, crap, we're gonna be, so many minutes late. So finally, we got back to the venue between 3:40 and 3:40, 4 o'clock is when we kind of started to start walking in. Overall, the event was amazing, but for my first time around, that sucked. The weather, we just had really crappy weather. I played through it. My phone got soaked at times. I tell you what, this iPhone Max or whatever, 7, or whatever it is, iPhone 10 Max, whatever the heck it is, they have redeveloped the whole waterproofing thing. Now, I don't want to say waterproof. I mean, I've seen people put these in pools and make them work. However, the amount of water that like got trapped up underneath the case, all over the screen. I mean, I had it under like a poncho, and I kept doing this while I was like playing and catching and stuff like that. I got through it. I completed pretty much every quest except for the 5th section of quest line. But also due to the timing that we had left, it was kind of hard to finish. So hopefully most people finish their Jirachi part. Anyways, I'm going to show you what I got. Like I said, I just want to say I had a great time, the pros and cons. I can't wait for next year. Hopefully Jacqueline and I both can get a ticket. Hopefully it's easy to get a ticket. But overall, an amazing time. I'm glad I finally got to experience it. Pretty much what I got to say. I can't wait for next Saturday too, because I got to figure this whole situation out. Because if I can't do the whole work, if I have to go to work, I work from 1 to 8, so I'd miss like almost the entirety of the event except from 9 to 12. But I still have to leave from like, I still have to be at work by like 12:40, so I wouldn't even have a full like 4 hours to even play. So hopefully I can get this all worked out and I can play. Maybe I can switch from Saturday to a different day. I don't know. I'll have to figure this out though. So now I'm gonna show you what I got and got lucky with. Alright, give me 3. Go. There's a Snubbull that's shiny. Check that real quick. Nope. That was one of the ones I was really hoping to get yesterday, but didn't. Okay, so I caught almost 500 Pokemon. You do see now it says 1,400 out of 1,500. I removed like 80 already. There was just a bunch of crap that I didn't need. I was kind of checking the IVs. But I caught a lot of Pachirisu. So anybody in the Facebook group that, needs one, I gotta go through the IVs still, but you can clearly see that I have more than enough to trade. So I think I've only gotten rid of one since I've, been going through. Got a lot of Hippopotas. I feel like you guys don't really care about the little things like that. The word for unknown was for this year was wake up with an exclamation point. Got all of that. So I got some unknown to trade. I finally did some trading and got my shiny Psyduck from Mark, so shout out to Mark for that. I gave him a shiny Zapdos since I had more than enough of those. But here, this is what you guys really care about seeing. Let's be real here. So I hatched this and I was like, you have got to be kidding me. Like, I don't have enough of those. I don't even know what the IVs were on it. Not terrible. Got one of these. I was super excited. And actually got one of these bad boys. But oh wait, there's one more. I got 2 shiny Absol, actually. This was like one of my favorite things I've gotten over at GoFest. When it happened, I was like, and of course, keep in mind, everybody at GoFest that gets a shiny, they're like, oh my god, I got a shiny! And then whatever it is, So, I was super stoked when I got this. I definitely will not be evolving into Haunter. Like, it's gonna stay Ghastly because it's so cool. And then this just like, when I got 2 of these, I was just kind of blown away. And then I got one more Horsey during, at GoFest too. Like, it was kind of funny because I was walking with Jason and Mark, shout out to both of those guys again, but I had a great time with them. I was walking, I was like, they were catching shinies kind of like left and right or whatever, and I was like, gosh dang it, like I haven't caught a single shiny, and then I clicked on, the next thing I clicked on, Horsey was shiny. I was like, are you kidding me? So actually, I gotta see which one's better here. I think they're both crap, I can't remember though. No, this is the one. We're gonna evolve this right now, actually, because I wanted to do this on camera. So I had some content. Hopefully anybody that's attending GoFest has had a wonderful time, though. Like I said, it kind of sucks that it rained for most of the time we were there. I don't know what the last one looks like, I can't remember. But I'm glad I had an item to evolve it. I didn't know if I had even any items left. That was another thing. I have like literally no Pokeballs. My phone battery packs held up really well too. Like I said, I just feel bad that I wasn't able to make the video that I wanted to make due to the fact that it rained so much. Like, it just was insane. It's a pretty Kingdra. I still can't get over these. That's just crazy. And this, give me 1 second. Another thing that I was kind of like hoping more from was like when you claimed the research task and like you got like an actual Pokemon appeared. I felt like they could have definitely had some better, like, you know, things, but I'm not really like complaining too much. I got some new Pokedex entries, did a lot of crazy shiny hunting. There was a couple that I was really looking for there, like Mawile. I was looking for Bronzer. I was looking for a Snorunt. I was looking for a Krabby. Never really got any of those, and I was clicking like crazy. I also clicked on a lot of Magikarp. Not one of those was shiny. I was kind of surprised. That's one that I'm still looking for. Geodude was another one. Still have, I'll show you what I have one thing left to like basically, oops, finish this, wrap this video up here because there's not much left I can really say. So, out of my GoFest 2019 Chicago, I'm on 5 out of 5, so I still have to do trade 3 Pokemon for at least 100 kilometers. I never really got to do any like crazy trades. We had 5 special trades to do at GoFest, and I only did 1. It was just like, I was more focused on catching, and like everybody really wanted the same thing there. Like everybody, I didn't see one person on their like little list of things that they were holding around these sticks that had like a piece of paper on it, and you wrote in like Sharpie or whatever, like what you were mainly looking for, like your top 3 things or whatever. And so most people either had one of the regionals that you couldn't get, or something shiny related, or just like a legendary or something, or something that, you know, was extremely rare. Like some people were walking around with like shiny Abra or shiny Clefairy, and like people weren't gonna trade those. Like, let's be real, you weren't gonna trade that. There's a lot of people who were looking for just basic shinies that like they didn't have. Like I said, I had friends who had, you know, had them, so I didn't have to like go crazy, but I never got to do those 3 things. So I definitely am gonna try and get that done very soon here. I'm sure I can figure out how to do it. Sure, I can somewhat complete it, you know, so I can get those candies and that other stuff from that. But like some of the rewards are like really crazy too from these tasks. Like you were getting super incubators, lots of Stardust, lots of XP. Like I said, the spawns could have been a little bit better for as far as like when you were claiming rewards. Those things could have been better. But oh, I never got to show you my Jirachi. I'll show that too real quick before I forget. I believe it was. Alright, this is the last thing I'm going to be pretty much showing, and then I'll wrap this video up here. So here's my Jirachi, 1375. I never got to figure out what perfect is, but it's battle, attack, defense, really strong, impressive. So it's not terrible, but I don't know how exactly what the IV is and how good it is, but anyways, the research reward to get from that is then you get your 20 candy, 5 golden raspberries, and 5,000 Stardust. All the rewards that were at GoFest for the little research tasks were rare candy, so I put a bunch into just like random crap before I went to GoFest. So I was like, pretty much got all new rare candy when I was there. So anyways, this clip is like way too long, so I'm gonna wrap this up now. Anybody who went to GoFest, I hope you had a wonderful time. I'm excited for Saturday. I gotta make sure everything works out as well as I want it to. If not, I'm just gonna get up early, grind for several hours, and then do what I have to do, you know. Maybe I'll turn my gacha on while I'm at work and just have it catching as much as it can for me, because I don't want to ultimately get screwed out of it. So yeah. Anyways, peace out. I'm gonna edit this, and I will catch you guys in the next one.